Good morning, everybody. It's Mike. Guess what? It's time to hit the gas. No more playing around now. Starting around the end of March, I began encouraging you to hit the brakes. Tap the brakes a little bit. Start controlling your spend. Conserve your cash. And I did that because we were unsure of where this was all going and the economic impact to our industry. Just didn't know. I think as we go into the middle of May now, we have a lot clearer picture starting to emerge of how this is going to impact the real estate industry. So today I'm confident that it's time to say go. It's time to go. The green flag's out and it's time to go. It's time to get out ahead of everybody else and beat the market surge. May is the new February. Okay, the strong peak selling season's coming. It's just not coming when it traditionally does. And here's why. Okay, it's just not my opinion. Here's some facts. Why everybody's walking around these days with feelings and emotions and opinions. Let's just talk about some facts, can we? So the U.S. unemployment rate came out this past Friday morning, and it was announced at 14.7% unemployment rate. Okay, so let's have a little perspective on that. For everybody that says that's worse than the Great Depression, that's because they're taking total numbers of unemployed individuals in 2020 and comparing it to almost 100 years ago when the population was a lot smaller. We have a lot more people now. So we'll have more people unemployed. But the unemployment rate during the Great Depression, you can look it up yourself today. You don't have to just believe me. Check it out. It was well above, in 1929, it was 23%, a little higher than that. But more importantly, it remained above 20% for 4 years. Okay. Goldman Sachs released a report yesterday showing that, in April of 2020, our unemployment rate was 14.7%. And they expect that to, by the end of this year, drop to 8%. And then going into this time next year to be back down to around 3%. Okay. Not 4 years of 20+%. So let's cut out the comparisons to the Great Depression because this isn't that. Okay? Let's also look at that 14.7% and really try to understand it. 90% of the 14.7% unemployed people, 90% of them said they expect this to be temporary. That they will go back to their job at some point in the very near future. They didn't think it was a permanent job loss. It also means that 85.3% of the population still has a job. Okay? Watch this. For those of you that try to draw correlations to 2008, 42.1%. See if this shocks you like it shocked me. 42.1% of homeowners in this country have no mortgage. 42% own their homes free and clear. And CoreLogic just reported that the average equity per homeowner in the country was $177,000 in equity. Now, for those of you that want to draw correlations to 2008, you're just wrong because in 2008, people didn't have any equity. We were making 100% mortgages to people that didn't even have a job and had no credit. There's no correlation here. People are sitting on an average of $177,000 in equity. So for everybody that's saying, oh, there's going to be this huge wave of foreclosures coming in the future, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You haven't done any research. You just sit around and pontificate and make up opinions with no facts to justify your opinion. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. The rest of us would just appreciate you shutting up for a while. Okay? Quit junking up the atmosphere. 42% of homeowners don't even have a mortgage. Of the ones that do, their average equity size is $177,000. They're not letting those homes go into foreclosure. There's no appetite for that from the homeowner's side of view because there's too much equity to preserve. And the lending environment is a completely different atmosphere and appetite too. Those of you that think there's going to be an REO wave, you're going to get left behind. Of the 14.7%, where are these job losses? Well, let's take a look at some facts, not just opinions. 37.6% of the unemployed are waiters, waitresses, and bartenders. You think those jobs are coming back quickly once the restaurants start to reopen, as they already are? Hell yes. Those jobs are going to come back very quickly. By the way, as realtors, those weren't really our customers in the first place. Sorry, don't mean anything negative against that group of people. They just typically aren't home buyers. 10.2% are retail and temporary jobs. Are those going to come back? In your opinion, are those going to come back quickly? Well, they are, and they're not highly skilled jobs, so that they can be rehired at a very rapid rate. 8% are doctors and dentists. I have a friend of mine that's my dentist. He is getting paid not to open his dental office right now. That's 8% of the unemployed right there. Are those jobs going to come back quickly? They are. At any time now, I think he's already said starting next week, he's able to reopen his dental office. So he won't be unemployed anymore, right? Okay. 6% are arts and entertainment. Well, when you're allowed to go out, do you think you're going to be participating in arts and entertainment? I think that's one of the first things we're going to do, right? And then you've got the miscellaneous category, the less than 5%. And these add up into a whole bunch of substantial areas. Childcare, construction, you. So when you hear statistics being given to you by a media with an agenda, keep this in mind. When they say that we have 14.7% unemployment, realize that they're counting you in that number. Are you unemployed? Or did you just file for the unemployment assistance that was available to you, though it's a really bad term because you're not really unemployed, but that's what they're calling it. And now, once you file that application, now you're part of that number too. But are you unemployed? Look, folks, lots of agendas out there. I think it all boils down to one of two agendas. I think people either have an economic agenda or they have a political agenda. I think when I listen to people trying to give me quote unquote news, I think they're coming from one of two perspectives. Either you're trying to make money off of me somehow, media, you want to turn this into an OJ trial so desperately and show tractor trailers full of what you say are where they're keeping morgues, right? Where all the body bags go, because that's titillating. And you want to turn this into an OJ trial, and you desperately want us turned into your news channel 24/7 to get the latest bit of titillating news so that you can make money off of me. I think you have an economic interest and you're distorting the scenario. Or I think you have a political agenda. I think you either want or don't want something to happen this fall in the general election, and that's how you're going to position things to enhance your cause. Do I think that you're trying to give me fair, balanced, and accurate information? I do not. I think you're all full of shit. And I think you're all trying to manipulate me for your own personal agenda. So here's what I'm saying to you today. It's time to go. It's time to hit the gas. It's time to surge forward, starting now. May's the new February. The green flag's out. It's time to go. If you've cut back on your spend, good. I'm glad you did. That was the smart, prudent thing to do. But now it's time to re-engage. If you had a newsletter program and you pulled back on it and paused it for a while, it's time to start getting it back going again. It's time to start re-emerging, folks, and it's time to participate in the surging market that is coming at us this summer. I'm going to here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do two things right now, and some of you aren't going to like this. I don't care. We're going to do it anyhow. First of all, our office is open as usual starting this Monday. And I want you to all come back and start engaging. We're going to practice some safe behaviors. We're going to practice some distancing. This is going to be the cleanest place in Atlanta. We're going to be smart. We're going to be practical, but we're open for business again. And I want you to come join me. To go along with that, I'm going to intensify my coaching program, offering more coaching slots for you, and to start gearing it towards how we get out ahead of the new market that's coming at us. You're going to hear people with all kinds of opinions out there, and these are people that form opinions without facts. Here's the facts. Home prices are up. Why? Simply because supply is down. In any product, when supply is down, prices go up. And when supply's way up, look at the cost of gasoline. Why is the cost of gasoline down? Well, people aren't driving as much. That's not the direct cause. The direct cause is supplies of gasoline are at record high. It's almost a crisis for them. They have more gasoline than they can store and hold. The supply of it is way high, and that's driving the price down. Supply of active listings is way down. It dropped 32.3% last month over last April. 32% fewer homes were put on the market in April compared to a year ago April. Sales are down. Of course they're down. April, we're going to look back on this and say April 2020 was the low point. It was the highest rate of infection. It was the highest rate of everything. We were really uncertain. There was a lot of fear out there. It caused people to not put their homes on the market. It caused some people to pause their sales. But we're starting to emerge out of that now. Now you can trail the market's rebound, or you can get out ahead of it and ride the wave. I guess you get to choose. But form your opinions and then your actions based on what's real and not what the bunch of bullshit that people are pushing around out there that don't have any facts to back it up. Base it off what's real and go out there and make it happen for yourself today, and I'll do it with you.